Welcome to U.S. College Experts Office Hours, everyone. My name is Ayo Seni, and I am your college admission strategist. I partner with students and families to help them successfully navigate through this stressful, confusing, and overwhelming college admissions process. You may be asking yourself, what is office hours? Well, that's a great question. Office hours is a platform to allow me to connect to anyone who needs help with college admissions. It's a forum where you can ask your questions and then I can answer them. So for now, the plan is to broadcast live from the U.S. College Experts page every second and fourth Thursday, and that's every second and fourth Thursday at 8 p.m. However, due to some schedule conflicts that I'm having today, I had to do it a little bit earlier, but I'm still committed to the office hours and I refuse to skip a day. So before we get started, I wanted to say a very, very, very big thank you to everyone who called, watched, liked, commented, gave feedback, encouraged me, sent questions, and shared the episode of our first office hours. I'm so very grateful. To be honest, I have been wanting to press that go live button for so many months now, but the fear blocked me. This year I committed to myself, or I made a commitment to myself to stop making excuses and to do the things that make me scared and also make me uncomfortable. This year is my year of hashtag kick fear in the face. So I thank you. I thank everyone for your love and support and for helping me kick fear in the face. So let's get started. I had some questions that came in after the last broadcast, so I thought I would use the opportunity for this broadcast to respond to those questions. I know everyone is pretty busy, so my goal is to try to make sure that office hours is within 20-30 minutes or less, but we'll see how things go. These were very important questions that I really wanted to address, so let's jump into them. So at this time, if you have an opportunity, go ahead and share out this video with your network, tag your friends in it so that they can also benefit from the information. So our first question comes from Felicia. Felicia is in New Carrollton, Maryland, and she asks, my daughter is a junior. How do I go about registering her for the SAT exam? In my response, I will address both the SAT and the ACT, not just the SAT exam that Felicia is asking about. So Felicia, this is a very, 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 very important question, and I'm glad that you asked it. Along with providing the registration information, I want to provide you with some key info concerning both the ACT and the SAT, as I said. Now, the websites to register for the ACT and the SAT is ACT is act.org, and then the SAT is collegeboard.org, and I will include those links in the descriptions. So since your daughter is actually a junior, she should have already taken the PSAT, and she should have taken that back in October of 2016. So what I would advise you to do is go ahead and get those scores, review them. The PSAT scores can provide you guidance of where your daughter is strong or needs additional test prep. Also, your daughter should have a plan at this point when she would like to go ahead and take those exams, whether in your case, the SAT. So keep in mind, there's a total of, for the ACT, there's a total of 6 exams that are proctored all throughout the year. So they are September, October, December, February, April, and June. And then the SAT, on the other hand, has 7 tests that they have that all throughout the year. They're in October, November, December, January, March, May, and June. So keep those dates in mind, as well as when you're planning as well as when your daughter plans to apply to her colleges, whether it's early action, early decision, or she'll be doing regular. So you want to make sure that her test plan falls in line with that. So particularly with my clients, I work with them to come up with a testing schedule, which includes allocating time for serious test prep. So that's either whether they go to a testing center like a Kaplan or a Princeton Review, or they're using an online test prep. And then we now come up with their exam schedule afterwards. I'd like for my students to be done at least with their SAT and the ACT by the end of their junior year. And if they need to take an additional test, they can go ahead and take that test during the first exam given during their senior year. Now, the cost of the SAT is, depending on your budget, can be kind of expensive especially if you're not planning accordingly. So the SAT is $45, and then adding the essay component will cost you $57. So SAT by itself is $45. The SAT plus essay is $57 total. So what's included in that price? So you get you have the option to send your test scores up to four different schools, and you can send those scores for free. However, you only have up to 9 days after the test to send those scores for free. So 9 days after the test, and then at registration of the exam, you can go ahead and send those scores for free. However, anything after that 9-day period after you've sat for that exam, or anything after the 4 initial free tests that they give you, it will cost you $12 per school to send your SAT scores to. So that's the cost associated with the SAT. Now the ACT is $42, and then the ACT with writing is $58. So $42 just to take the regular SAT multiple choice test, and then with the writing portion, it's $58, $58.50. And also it includes the option to send your scores to up to 4 schools. However, with the ACT, you have to do that upon registration. Select those schools. Now, keep in mind that registering for the SAT and the ACT, like I said, is already pretty costly. So you have to plan accordingly so that you don't end up racking up additional fees that comes from either changing the date of the exam, changing the test center of the exam. Late registration has its own fees as well. Being put on the waiting list because you did registered late. So take those things into consideration when you are selecting your exam. If you know you're going to sit for the exam on a particular date, don't wait till the last minute to register. Okay, and so before registering for the exam, my advice to you and your daughter or anyone else that finds themselves in this situation is to review the requirements. And this is key here. Review the requirements for the SAT or ACT for each of the schools that you will be applying to. And the reason I say that is because some of the schools actually require that you take the SAT with essay or the ACT with writing. So if you don't take that SAT with essay or ACT with writing at the time of you taking that exam, what will now happen is, unfortunately with the ACT and the SAT, you can't take the writing or essay portion separately on a different test day. You have to take the entire exam together. Or the entire exam, the SAT with the ACT on a different test date. So if you didn't plan accordingly, you might end up having to take an extra SAT because you realized after the fact your school requires you to have that essay writing or the essay or writing portion on the exam. Okay. I also recommend just adding the essay and the writing. And you know, some students I know, they just opt out of it. They register for the writing or the essay portion of the exam, and then on the day of the test you do have the option to opt out. Don't opt out, just take it, because you never know down the line, you might add a school later that requires it. Maybe your current list doesn't have it, but maybe after doing a college tour or maybe doing additional research, you find that there's another school that you might want to consider applying to, but because you didn't take that SAT with essay and writing portion, you kind of just messed yourself up, and now you have to sit for another exam, which is more money and more additional stress. So plan accordingly. And well, as I talk about costs, check with your counselor as well to see if you are actually eligible for a fee waiver. SAT and ACT offer fee waivers to students, but there's there are requirements that you must meet. So speak with your college counselor. They'll be able to review your profile and be able to tell you whether or not you're eligible for those fee waivers. So, Felicia, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, or if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us if you need additional help. Thank you. And then I have a question from Yemi from Odenton, Maryland. She asked, what is the subject test and should my child take it? Yemi, that's an awesome question, and I'm glad that you asked it. So the SAT subject test allows for students to basically demonstrate their strengths in a particular subject. So the SAT subject test is a multiple choice test given in a number of individual subjects covering math. The math section has actually two parts, two different levels. So there's math level 1. Math level 1 covers 1 year of geometry and then 2 years of algebra. And then math level 2, on the other hand, which is the higher version, covers the same things that you would cover in math level 1, but it also adds pre-calculus and trig to it. So you want to make sure that you've taken those classes before you now decide to sit for either the math level 1 or the math level 2. Then they have the sciences. So they have biology. Biology has two different areas. They have biology, ecological biology, and molecular biology. Then there's chemistry and then physics. So you can take two different types of biology, a chemistry subject and a physics subject as well. And then there's the English and then history, and then under history there's also two additional subject tests that you can take, which are US history and then world history. And then they have 9 different languages. So you have Spanish, French, Chinese, Italian, German, modern Hebrew, Latin, Japanese, and Korean. So that's the languages. So if you happen to be taking a foreign language in school and maybe you've gone beyond the requirements for your high school diploma, you might want to go ahead and consider sitting for the subject test in a foreign language. Or if you're fluent in a particular language that I just listed, you might also want to consider taking the exam as well. So the test is offered 6 times a year. The SAT subject test is offered 6 times a year, given on the same dates as the SAT exams. The only date that is not given, the SAT subject is not given, is the March SAT date. Now, the test is 1 hour per subject, so you actually have the option of sitting for 3 different subject tests in one sitting or one exam per date. So 3 exams or 3 different subjects per date. However, the key thing to keep in mind is that you can't take the regular SAT, so the SAT with essay. You can't take the SAT with essay and then take subject test. You can't do that on the same SAT date. It's not possible. You have to take either the SAT essay or you take the SAT subjects, and which you can take up to 3. Okay, so that's that. The test is based off a score of 200 to 800 points. But again, check the SAT website for the subject schedules, because not all the subjects are offered on each test date. So you have to plan accordingly, and planning is key again, and being organized is very important in this process. So I recommend students take the SAT subject in a subject that they are strong in, or after they've done very well in an AP course. So basically, you don't have to wait till your junior or senior year to now go back and do SAT subjects. No, you don't have to do that. You can take the SAT subjects immediately after finishing that subject in a school year. So for instance, if you took the AP World History, for example, in 10th grade and did well in the class, go ahead and take the SAT subject in World History. The time that you took to study for the AP exam kind of acts as a two birds, two birds, one stone scenario for you, because you studied for it, the AP exam, and you've gotten some prep under your belt, and then you can go ahead and take the exam as well. Also, I've known students who have done online courses that are non-credit, but they're just really passionate or really interested in a particular subject, maybe because their school doesn't offer it or what have you. So I also encourage those type of students to go ahead and take the AP exam as well. Now, key thing is the more selective colleges, so like the Ivy Leagues and the MITs and what have you, do require or recommend that a student submits a SAT subject test. So again, you want to make sure that you're visiting those schools' websites to make sure that you are meeting their requirements, and then not only meeting the requirements, the number of tests you have to take, and then also the specific subjects, because some schools require that you take them in certain subjects. So make sure you get that done, but visit those websites and keep track of them. So doing the SAT subject test will allow a student to stand out on the college application or the college admissions process or review process with the school, especially if the school doesn't require it. So you've done the additional effort to go ahead and take the AP class and also take the SAT subject test as well. So make sure to check the SAT website for all the details, and then also the individual schools' websites for details. Again, I will include the link to the information in the descriptions. So I have another question here from Lala Day from Woodbridge, Virginia. And Lala Day asks, my child is a senior and has submitted her applications. What should she be doing next? Well, Lala Day, let me tell you, congratulations to you and your child. I am sure you're so happy and you feel like all the stressful time is behind you, but don't relax yet. That's what I'm going to tell you. Don't relax yet. Because you still have some things you need to follow up on right now. The key thing right now that I would suggest that you do is to make sure you check your email, or your daughter was it your daughter? Or you just said your child. Make sure your child checks their email, and also check your regular mail on a regular basis, because colleges start sending out correspondences. Some of these correspondences may be invitations to log in to their account portal or to your account on their online portal. So these logins, you're able to go into the portal and confirm that the schools have received all parts of your application. I've seen it where the school hasn't gotten the SAT score, the school hasn't gotten a transcript, what have you. Make sure you log in and confirm that all parts of the application have been received. And if not, address those things immediately, okay? Because it could prevent you from having your application be reviewed, and it could also prevent you, it could also cause your application to be denied. So make sure you stay on top of that. And then the other thing I would also suggest that you do is, or ask that you have done, is have you already completed the financial aid documentation? So by now, my expectation for my clients as well as you is that you have already completed your FAFSA and have listed all the schools that your daughter or your child has applied to. Does any of your schools require a CSS profile? If so, you want to make sure that you get that done. And then also look for any state financial aid applications. You want to make sure you go online and complete that. And then the school may or may not at this time have already sent you some financial aid documentation that they need you to complete. So you want to make sure that you do that. And again, you want to confirm with the schools, and this is usually done through the online portal or any letter that's been sent to you, if they've received all your financial aid documentation. So you want to make sure that you're on top of that. And then other thing I suggest, and I constantly suggest this, whether you are a 9th grader or a senior in college, your last year, look for scholarships. There are so many national and local scholarships due in the next few months. So you want to make sure that you're collecting those lists and making sure that you're being very aggressive with not only looking for those scholarships, but also applying to all the scholarships that you are eligible for. Yes, some of these scholarships may not have that $10,000 or $50,000 amount, but even if you apply for a scholarship that's $500, that's $500 less that you might have to take out in student loans. So make sure you make every effort to apply. So 2 websites that I highly recommend that you check out is one is collegeprepready.com with Ashley Hill. She's an amazing resource for anyone looking for scholarships. She helps with it. She assists people in finding and applying for scholarships. So check her out. And then also venture over to jlvcollegecounseling.com. They have an entire directory. And when I say entire directory, it's thousands and thousands of scholarships that you can check out. And she has done a really good job by separating them out by month, separating them out by, I think she has majors on there, and specific interest groups. So definitely check those out. And I would leave the link for those in the description. And the other thing is, you want to make sure your daughter, I keep saying your daughter, I'm just assuming, but I'm going to say your child. Make sure your child finishes strong. And when I say that, I mean they need to avoid senioritis, aka lazy senior syndrome. So we want to make sure you avoid that. They avoid that altogether. They're going to be really excited about having all their applications done. They feel accomplished because they're almost finished with high school, but there's still work to be done. So you don't want to have them slack off in that last semester, because schools can technically take back their admissions if you slack off extremely too much. If I'm going to say you start failing classes. I also recommend you visit our website to download our free high school checklist. In there's a section of what students should be doing each year, especially with the senior year. So check that out. That's at www.uscexperts.com. As you get through those acceptance letters, start reviewing the dates for when the open houses are, or any college tours come up, so that you can work towards making your final decisions as to what schools you are going to make that final decision on. So again, thank you, Lalade, for your question. And then Tasha from Hanover, she asked, my oldest child is a 12th grader and hasn't started applying yet. Okay, so that was my crazy face. Is it too late? It's not too late. Tasha, thank you for that question, by the way. Actually, I find a lot of students, I've had students that end up in this situation. It's January or it's end of January, early February, and they haven't applied to any schools. And it could be for various amount of reasons. So although many schools have or generally have regular decision application deadlines in January or February, there are still some schools that have deadlines that are later on in the year. My recommendation to you is to check out the list on College Board's website, which I will post a description. I will post a link in the description. The key thing is to keep in mind that despite the fact that these schools have later deadlines, you want to make sure that the application that you're sending to them is complete, that you're meeting all the application requirements as well. And I also advise you to double back and listen to the advice that I provided Lalade in the previous question. So I will send out that link, or I'll post that link to the College Board late applications list so that you have it. So that's pretty much, those are the questions I really wanted to answer, because they were a little bit time sensitive, or they would help people in the preparation process. So I wanted to make sure that I got them, or I responded to them today. So if you would like more details of what students should be doing every single year of high school, head over to our website, www.uscexperts.com. And on the website there's a banner at the bottom of the page that you can easily just punch in your email address, and it will redirect you to our checklist. So I want to make sure that you have that. And if you did find this broadcast helpful, please share it out with your network. Tag your friends that you believe will benefit from the information. If you would like us to answer any of your questions, feel free to visit our Facebook page. Visit our Facebook page. We're at facebook.com/USC experts. There you could book your appointment with us if you have if you're interested in taking advantage of our 20-minute introductory session. 20-minute introductory sessions, no obligation. If you have questions and you want to see how, if you have questions and you're interested in seeing how we can help you with your greatest concerns, we can definitely speak to you on that. It's 20 minutes. Free. Go on over to the Book Me Now link on our Facebook page, or you can send us an email at info@uscollegeexperts.com, or you could give us a call at 301-744-0456. If you found that after watching this broadcast, you feel that you may need some support during the college admissions process, please know that we offer several services to meet the needs of our families at any point, any place that you find yourself in the process. So don't hesitate to give us a call. Like I said, we have that 20-minute free introductory session so we can discuss your concerns. And also, before I forget, really excited about this, our summer 2017 college tour registration is now open. Because of the demands we had last year, we decided to add additional dates, and then you also have two different options. And I said two different options that you can select when choosing what type of tour that you'd like to go on. We have a 1-day option, and then we also have a 2-day tour option. So that's 2-day, 1-night option that you can definitely take advantage of. So head on over to our website. We have the information there for you. Link to registration is also there for you. And so if you have a group that caters to 8th through 12th graders, we invite you to attend. If our dates clash with your organization's activities schedule, then we can definitely arrange a private tour for you. So again, for more information, head over to our website or email us. And we'll definitely get back to you. So it's been fun hanging out with you. Thank you again for joining our office hours. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.